Today I'm talking shoe trends, and in particular the spring shoe trends that I think are the most wearable, and I'm sure there's going to be something for everyone. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome back to my channel. I love shoes and I love talking about shoes, and you guys obviously do too, because I've been getting lots of messages about what shoes to wear with certain outfits and how to style shoes. So I thought today I'd dedicate an entire video and look at some of the current shoe trends. Now, these aren't necessarily the trends that you may have seen elsewhere here on YouTube. Some of them may be, but what I have tried to do is really hone in on some of the fashionable footwear that I also think is going to be comfortable and wearable as well. So let me know if you like these sorts of videos in the comments below, and let's just get on with it. Now, before we get started on today's video, I just wanted to say a very big thank you to the team at Skillshare for sponsoring today's episode. Now, if you've been following me here for a while, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of Skillshare. I've taken many of their courses and learnt some really cool stuff. I've taken a guitar course, a course on how to use my Cricut maker. There's everything imaginable to learn on Skillshare. The courses are all really easy to follow, and they're not your kind of traditional courses that you would expect to see. So there's really a course on everything. I reckon you should jump onto the Skillshare website and just have a little bit of a scroll through and see some of the courses. I'm about to take one by a guy called John Pateo, and it's all about learning how to make the most out of your camera on your iPhone. I've just upgraded to a 12 Pro. I think it's just a 12 Pro, not a Max. I'm confused, but I have just upgraded my iPhone, and it would make a real sense for me to learn how to maximize the camera on that phone to take better photos. I take loads of photos over on my Instagram. If you're not already following me, I'm just at The Style Insider on Instagram, so please come and follow me. But Skillshare is an amazing online learning community, and it has a course in absolutely everything imaginable. There are also always new courses to choose from. You'll be surprised. And the great news is it's only $10 a month to subscribe to Skillshare, but for the first 1,000 viewers who click my link in the description box below, you'll get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. So all of the information will be linked below, as well as a couple of my favorite classes. So maybe this is the year that you also get to explore your own creativity through Skillshare. Now it's time to start jumping into those trends. Okay, the first trend that I'm really loving is the return of Espadrilles. Now, I've owned this pair for probably about 4 or 5 years, and they're just a great shoe because they can be dressed up, worn more casually, and ultimately the big advantage of Espadrilles is that they're really comfortable, but they still give you a little bit of height. And I think designers are realizing that we actually are prioritizing comfort these days. So I think the Espadrille is a shoe that gives you both. It really straddles that comfort and style seamlessly. So there are lots of really cool new styles. I'll link all of the shoes that I feature in today's video in the description box below. Now, I'm not saying you need to go down there and shop and spend money that you may not have, but I just wanted to give you some options. You guys are always asking me for options of styles and fashion pieces that I'm featuring, so I'm really going to try and give you those options in each video. So I've picked a couple here that I think are going to cover a few different options in terms of taste and style. I particularly love these red Espadrilles. The ankle tie detail just gives them a little bit of a sort of a flirty, fun flair. There are some flat Espadrilles here for those of you that just like a more casual shoe. So there really is something here for everyone. But Espadrilles are comfortable and stylish, and for that reason they are #1 on my spring shoe trend list today. Now, the next trend I want to talk about, and I know that this one is going to divide you guys. Some of you will love it and some of you will probably hate it, but it's these sporty sandals. Now, don't panic, but think Tevas, Birkenstocks, those real sort of adventure trekking outdoor style sandals. They've had a little bit of a modern makeover, and they've been given a bit of a fashion edge, which I am so here for. Now, again, I particularly love these sandals because they're super comfortable. And there are all sorts of different options here. Now, I particularly love this style. They're like a classic Tiva, but they, instead of the black sort of webbing detail, they've replaced that with bandana style fabric, beautiful florals, animal print fabric, which just give them a really lovely modern edge. And I have talked in videos in the last couple of weeks about fashion being colourful and fun, and I think the same applies to footwear. It seems as though designers are injecting some colour and some fun into our wardrobes. I think they must realise that we all need a little bit of brightening up. So if you are someone that doesn't perhaps enjoy wearing colour top to toe, then maybe shoes are a great option for you to add a little bit of fun and colour to your lineup. But even if you do love wearing colour, I think adding a colourful shoe is a really great way just to sort of splash out into the new season. Even the classic Birkenstocks have had a bit of a modern makeover, and there's gorgeous rose gold metallics. I particularly love the Birkenstocks that are all weather. I think they're really reasonably priced as well. And I've heard, I don't own a pair, but I have heard from a few people that they are as comfortable as the traditional Birkenstocks, but they're in all of these beautiful bright colours as well. So I do think that there is merit in some of these sporty sandals, but I know that you guys aren't all going to like them. But let me know in the comments below if these are your jam or not. Okay, now this trend may divide you a little bit as well, but chunky boots are also here for spring. Now, I recently got this pair from Alohas, and I'm all about chunky boots. I've always loved military styling and quite man-style boots, and I particularly love these for spring because we did see them in winter with this sort of chunky, thick, cleated sole, and now for spring they're here in lighter colorways. An interesting story, I was on Instagram, I was regularly getting served up the ad for these Alohas. I hadn't heard of the brand before, I wasn't sure about it, but about the 5th time I'd seen the ad, I caved and thought, yeah, I think I need a pair of these in my life. I'm so glad that I did get them because they are gorgeous quality. You know how sometimes you're not always sure when you get those Instagram ads whether something's going to be a hit or a miss? Well, these are a huge hit. The other thing I love about this brand, and I only found out about it through reading their website, is that they have an on-demand, what they call an on-demand production schedule. So that basically means that they only produce the amount of shoes that they have sold. So often you pre-order and you may have to wait a little bit longer, but it does mean that they are not overproducing and there's no wastage, which, you know, I'm all here for that. If it's good for the environment, I'm here for it. But these are beautiful quality. Now, the other thing about these chunky boots is that they make your legs look super lean. So to have something as chunky as this on your foot really lengthens and makes your legs look leaner. And again, I'm going to be wearing these with dresses, with skirts, with jeans, you name it. I think they're really versatile. But let me know, are these your kind of boot, or are you a hard no on something as chunky and masculine as this? The other big trend that I keep seeing everywhere, and I found some really cool examples, is fancy flip-flops. So we don't call them flip-flops here in New Zealand, we actually call them jandals. And in Australia, we call them thongs. And in America, I believe they're called flip-flops, so that's why I'm calling them fancy flip-flops. I also like that alliteration. But anyway, flip-flops are having a moment and they are fancier than ever before. I've absolutely fallen in love with this gorgeous butterfly pair. When you wear them together, look, they create this beautiful butterfly, and worn apart they're just so pretty and so fun. But there's really something for everyone with these flip-flops. There are some that I've seen with a really chunky platform type sole on them, which would be really comfortable. There's some beautiful leather ones, and again, as I said, designers are really answering our call for comfort, but also giving us that style that we like as well. So fancy flip-flops are here for spring, and I think they're super practical and just a really easy easy and generally affordable piece of footwear as well. Now this next trend is one that I also personally love, and it's the return of retro trainers. Now I'm sure most of you will say that we've been seeing and wearing trainers for years basically. We have seen this trend, but what I am seeing more and more, instead of last season we saw this sort of chunky dad style sneaker, this season the sneakers are a little bit more pared back and they're very retro looking. So they're kind of sneakers of what we may have worn maybe back in the 60s. So there's also some really beautiful colorways available, and oh, my dog's come to join me here, and I'm really loving these retro vibes. Again, the color is designers answering our call for a little bit of happiness, and happy feet is where it's at for me. And in terms of retro trainers, my absolute favorite are these super chunky Converse high tops. I'm a huge Converse girl. In fact, that reminds me I need to go and wash my white pair because they've been thrashed lately. But Converse for me is the classic trainer that just never ever dates. And I absolutely love this modern makeover that they've been given. I'm definitely going to buy myself a pair because I know that I'll wear them for years to come. But the fact that this trainer gives you a bit of height and it's just really edgy and fab. In fact, one of my favorite YouTubers, Karen Britchick, wears these, and I might have even first seen them on her, and that's where I fell in love with them. She wears them so well, and they are definitely going to be my #1 shoe for spring 21. These gorgeous Converse super chunky high tops are, yeah, I'm excited just thinking about them. Now this next trend is a bit of an interesting one. In fact, I feel like some of these trends in today's video are all a little bit interesting, but there's no point in me putting out a video that you have watched before or you're seeing everywhere. So these trends are ones that I've handpicked because I think that there will be one here, at least one trend in today's lineup that will suit everyone. And that's what I always try and do. Try and make sure that I cover off all sorts of different trends, but this particular trend is the return of clogs. Now, if you live in certain countries where clogs are worn all year round, you're probably thinking I'm crazy, but clogs are back in more of a universal sense in terms of fashion. So there's all sorts of clogs on offer. I do remember having a pair of clogs when I was a little girl, and they were so uncomfortable. Fortunately, things have changed and there's some nice lining and padding in some of the clogs that just takes that hard edge off them. But I love the fact that, again, a little bit like an espadrille, you get the height, but you also get some fun styling with them as well. Here are a couple of pairs that I found online that I absolutely love, and this woven pair by Everlane are just so pretty, and I think they'd be really versatile as well. So clogs get the big thumbs up from me because they are comfortable, stylish, and they just look cool. Now last but definitely not least is the trend of woven / plaited shoes. Now there seems to be a lot of really natural detailing on a lot of the slides and sandals that I'm seeing, and I just think this natural look is really pretty. There's lots of padded woven type slides that are just gorgeous. There's this pair that I found that are woven straw, but they have this small crystal trim added to them. There's also even boots like this, I think it's called a glove boot from Everlane, and it's basically like a glove for your feet. This woven natural trend is actually just about adding texture to some classic styles, and I think that that's where the beauty of this really lies. Once you add a little bit of texture, it just adds interest to the pieces. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, I'd love you to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.